Good morning one and all. This is the Blue Mountains Model Rail project. I'm Andy and thank you for joining me on today's video. I'm going to be doing a batch of shorter videos to cover off a few things to do with the layout. Initially, I'd just like to show you that I now have an actual baseboard to use for my model railway, which there's a few bits and pieces of interest here this morning. First and foremost, the actual baseboard is roughly 40 plus years old and was actually gifted to me by my next door neighbour, who sadly has moved away. And as is the case with most house moves, you end up throwing out a lot of junk, selling off some of the stuff that you probably no longer need and or have the space for. In this case, my neighbour was at one point, him and his father and possibly his brothers, were into model rail, and the actual baseboard was built by a cabinet maker who used to live next door to my neighbour and obviously his father and family. So he built him the baseboard, and then they set about putting some form of a layout on the board. And as you can imagine, with the age of the board, that the actual track that was on there was triang, which I actually still have most of the track, as you can see here. When he realised I was into model rail, my neighbour that is, he said, "I've got something that may be of interest to you. Would you like to have a look and see if it would be useful for you?" So he pulled this out of his shed, and sure enough, there was the triang track still attached, albeit in a really sorry state of repair. The piece here has actually been cleaned up somewhat. It was kind of a lot more corroded and discoloured than this. So I have actually taken a few pictures and some video of the original layout, and I'm going to try and restore the old triang track. So I know some of it may fall apart. This is not exactly that stable, but once it's connected to some more track, it should be good, and would be a nice little rainy day project for me. So there we go. So I've taken the old track off, obviously, and sanded it back and given it quite a few coats of paint. Didn't realise how hard it was just to get cheap paint. These days there are so many different variations on the same theme, it's not funny. So finally managed to get myself a cheap can of paint, about 4 litres worth, and I set about putting on the track. And if you look over here to the right of the shot, you'll probably notice that there's a join there. The actual baseboard, the original baseboard, was 2.14 meters long and 1.2 meters wide, or 1.22 meters actually. I have since added an additional piece of wood there on this corner here, and gives me another 27 centimeters to play with. So the total width now is 1.49 meters wide. So where the blue cloth is on a table, I'm going to be adding another 1.2 meters by 2.4 meters. So kind of a dog leg right, if you can imagine that. So it'll give me roughly 3.34 meters in length, and then 2.4 meters going off to the right. That's the plan anyway. So fingers crossed, and all goes well, then I can add some additional board and some additional track, just to give me a bit more room to play with. The current layout as it stands now is not the final answer, as it were. It's not been locked in. It's just to scratch out a few ideas, and you know, sometimes you can plan it on paper, you can plan it on software, but sometimes it's best just to get up close and personal with the track, lay it out, give it a try. Does it work for you? Does it work for what your needs are? There's a few issues here which could easily be resolved by a turntable, could easily be resolved by purchasing more points, possibly more crossovers, and obviously would certainly benefit from having a longer length and more room, more real estate, if you like, to make things work. I also plan on having a second level. I think I will have enough room to do that, and I'm going to be using a couple of different techniques just to shorten the run to be able to achieve that. And I'll cover that off in another video. For now, it's just to say hi. If you have any suggestions as to what I can possibly do here, clearly I'm using OO, and yes, I'm using Hornby stuff. You'll be questioning my reasons for using Hornby track. The track itself is okay. Obviously it's code 100. Ideally I would love to use code 75. I have actually printed off some Pico turnout plans to give me some idea of what I can and what I can't do, and I'll cover that off again in another video. So for now, I'd like to say many thanks for watching, and I hope you found this of interest. If you'd like to see more videos, if you'd like to keep up to date with where I am at, what I'm doing, and if any of your suggestions have made my life a bit easier trying to set this layout up, then please subscribe, and as always, leave your comments. Any suggestions will be greatly appreciated. So with that, I'm going to bid you a good morning, and hope you have a great weekend. It's Friday at the moment, so here in Australia. Should have this video up within the next couple of hours or so, once I've put it together and uploaded. So with that, stay tuned. As I said, don't forget to subscribe and post any comments and suggestions that you may have. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.